Alright then, let's get this World Super League career underway. So who's going to manage and take the Chiefs all the way to the top? It's going to be the Lord himself, Lord Theo. Wait, seriously? They reduced the amount of characters you can use for your manager's name. Why? Well, I guess we're going to have to go with Lord Theo then. If you want to do one of these careers yourself, it's actually very easy to set up. All you have to do, once you've started, is swap out the teams. Obviously, this takes a bit of time if you're doing all 4 divisions. Like, a really long time. 20 minutes later, and the World Super League is set. And here are our lads, the Chiefs, ready to tear it up in League 2. Here's the settings we're going for. We're not messing about, straight into ultimate difficulty. Obviously, we only care about the World Super League, so international job offers are disabled. I think the matchups would be a bit weird if we did the pre-season tournament. Besides, we want this to be as challenging as possible. So we're going to work with what we have and decline it. Funny thing about doing this kind of career, the English leagues and competitions essentially becomes the Champions League, whereas the Champions League becomes the Carabao Cup. Everything gets a little bit muddled up. First looking at the squad, and to be honest, they're not all that bad from a technical standpoint. Biliat looks decent at 75 overall, our best player. The main issue is the fact that this is clearly an ageing squad. Some of them are ancient. Look at Kat Sande, 33. Without a doubt, we're clearly going to have to bring in some youth prospects. Kune's 32, but he is 78 overall. Still life in the old dog. For the first season at least, we shouldn't have a problem. It's a decent squad to build from. One of Lord Theo's first acts is to get rid of the deadwood. Players that won't really get any playtime and probably won't improve as a result. We need to ensure a steady supply of South African players. So we'll get a semi-decent scout and launch him over there. And basically just find anyone that can kick a ball really. Looking at the training, absolutely no one is showing any promise. Apart from this guy, Frosler? The way we'll do the training, we'll select those that will benefit from it and keep it the same, but change it for each month. This is what we've got for this month. Sorry lads, you're all going because I can't offer you any playing time. Quite like this feature, but I can see it getting quite repetitive and tiresome fairly quickly. It's the same story with the press conferences, although they don't come about nearly as often as the post-game interviews. It'll be interesting to see how morale plays a part. Before the first game, we found someone, a 20-year-old from Iceland that currently plays for CSKA, goes by the name of Sigurdsson. He's even got a bit of flair. Now we've already offered 4 mil for him, and I think he can bring some much needed youth to our attacking mid. Obtained! Into the first game against DC United. We're going with the 4-3-3 false 9 because we need an identity, and that identity is going to be aggression with inverted fullbacks. Saucy. Now we've also got the second controller in just to ensure that the opposition are fielding their best team. Like so. Let's get into it. First impressions, pretty decent. I can tell this Biliat fella is going to be an important player for us. He's pacey, decently technical. Everything you want in a winger. He drops it off to Falele? Gets blocked though, but they are showing the aggression in these opening minutes. Moments later, Biliatsin bags the room, puts it on a plate for Sigurdsson, who takes that plate and shoves it straight down the keeper's throat. You need to be scoring them, sunshine. Not even 10 minutes in and we get another crack of the whip. A lovely weighted pass from Malaleka, but no one's on for the drag back, so Biliat goes alone. It's a poor effort. I think we might struggle a little bit with the finishing this season. This effort was offside anyway, but it doesn't really come much closer than that. Decent little passing play here, from Sigurdsson to Malaleka to Kambole, back to Malaleka, keeper's off his line, but he decides to go with his laces. He should have had a chip. Sigurdsson gets another opportunity, but fails to produce. You know what they say, you're not losing until you're losing, and a fatal mistake by Biliat sees a simple through ball into the middle, gets picked up and smacked into the back of the net via the front post. It's a shame considering how in control we are and the amount of opportunities we've had, but sometimes that's just the way the cookie crumbles, and we go in at half time 1-0 down. The lad's got a stern talking to from Lord Theo, but it doesn't matter because Rooney comes out just after the break and does our defence dirty with that pass. 2-0 down. Felt like we fell apart after this. The post saves us from 3-0. But then we had a resurgence. We had a few cracking efforts, but we just couldn't score. I have no idea how Sigurdsson misses this one. That's 2 sitters he's missed now. Oh, hang on a second. Make that 3. Kune saves us from further embarrassment. We end up losing 2-0. Straight into our second game against Shangzhou, and to be honest, it was looking pretty dire. That is until Zuma produces some pretty nice footwork, squares it off, back of the net, 1-0. Our very first goal in the World Super League, scored by the Changus. All credit to Zuma for that though. Unfortunately, it's the only moment of brilliance we had in us. And just before half time, they get a jammy equaliser. Gordinho, that is awful. Mirrors can't talk, and for your sake, it's a good job they can't laugh either. We just had nothing going for us this game, and it did not take long after half time for Kune to get beat at his front post. And just like that, we're losing, 2-1 down. However, shortly after, we get a chance to tie it up. It's a poor first touch from the Changus, and unfortunately, the follow-up shot isn't great either. Shangzhou decide to put the final nail in the coffin. What a delivery that was. It's just perfect, isn't it? Not going to defend against that. Next game, we're away at Dynamo Kiev in the Carabao Cup. Bit of a dead game this one. Both teams had multiple chances to go ahead, but it just was not to be. Played the full 90 without any goals, and in the Carabao Cup that means you go straight to penalties. Commentators were so bored they thought we played extra time as well.
So after 120 minutes of action...
Anyway, we go to Penners, their first one, pretty shocking. Biliat tucks his away top corner, no problem. Verbic steps up, sends the keeper the wrong way. Cambole with a little cracker, bottom left. You ain't saving that, lad. Rodriguez. Oh, terrible. Malaleka with a top bins effort, not to be outdone by Cambole. Potentially final penalty, a save will do it for us. Garmash steps up, not the best penalty, good height for the keeper, it's saved. We've done it, we're through. It's taken us 3 games and a penalty shootout, but we finally won our first game, controlling the Chiefs. Back to league action then, against Alkmaar. I believe you pronounce it Azza rather than AZ. Anyway, you definitely have to edit the lineups, otherwise you end up playing against a bunch of 50s. They've got no respect for us. I'm sure we'll show them we're high off our last win. I actually had to play this game twice. Kind of forgot to record it the first time round. We did win, we'll see what happens this time. We get our proper first chance 14 minutes in. Sigurdsson slides it over to Biliat, and let's be honest, he's not going to miss that, is he? It's not the best of strikes, but he gets the job done. He's a good egg. There's a few more chances from both sides, but it was clear the Chiefs were firmly in control. We never felt in danger of conceding. Nachangus decides he's had enough of pleasantries and whips out his bike. Fluffs his shot, but it's alright because Sigurdsson's there to slurp up the sloppy seconds. Try and say that 10 times quickly. That actually marks his first goal for the Chiefs. Took his time. Look at this for a rocket. Just wide. How this doesn't go in, I have no idea. Likewise with this from Malaleka. Just go far post, mate. I'll tell you what, Sigurdsson can set him up. Nice little passing play here. Nothing from it though. Oh, dreadful defending. How have we not conceded? Ends up 2-0 and we get our first 3 points in the league. Up next, we've got the young boys. Didn't take long for our first chance to materialise. Molangoan should certainly be making sure he's capitalising on these opportunities. Decided to start Castro over Sigurdsson this game, and he comes within an inch of showing his worth. He gets another opportunity off the back end of a nice build-up, and I tell you what, if he keeps missing chances like that, he's not going to get many starts. These lads can definitely string a few passes together, and this time, instead of going alone, Castro squares it, and it ends up in the back of the net. It's a perfect delivery from Castro, and Molangoan does him proud with a perfect finish. I mean, he does that, and then he can't produce the simplest of finishes in this situation. Malaleka manages to take it one step further. Shocking. He gets another crack, but the brace is just not to be. Last kick of the half, and how has he missed that? Come on. No! Gordinho, what was that? Pull-out game weak. Come on, old man Kune. Ah, 1-1. Molangoa misses a target. Again. Kune keeps us from going behind. Castro is just a little bit disappointing. He really needs to start finishing these chances. Why on earth is your finishing so bad? Sigurdsson finally gets one in for us, but of course, it's offside. Thanks mostly to Castro, it ends up 1-1, but we'll take the point. Next up, we're home to Atletico Nacional. Just before this game, we did sign Kunan Ulai. I just felt we were lacking some depth in the central mid, so in steps this young Ivorian. Absolutely nothing between us this game. That is until just before half time, when he managed to slink through our defence and blast it past Kune. You can't really blame him for that one. The fault lies entirely in the defence. We're extremely lucky we don't go 2-0 down here. What a fumble. Jesus, what a noggin he's got. We eventually find an equaliser thanks to a delicious ball from Kambole. Oh, it's a juicy curved strike from Biliat. Malaleka gets a chance to tip the game in our favour, but it's a poor effort. You're skating on thin ice, Gordinho. At this point, it's just a matter of hanging on, and thankfully we do. We secure the draw and a much needed point. Oh, we've got Roma next. Now, it is only the Carabao Cup, so while they're not playing their absolute worst squad, they're not exactly fielding their best 11 either. But they're still Roma. They're still 3 divisions higher than us in the World Super League, which is why this goal came as a complete shock. It's a fantastic team goal. It gets slid over to Malaleka, who neatly slots it home. I don't know what the lads had for breakfast this morning, but in the opening minutes of this game, we were absolutely dominating. But I didn't expect it to last long, and when the initial shock wore off, they decided to make our defenders look like toddlers. We're playing some of our fringe players too, and Cardoso gets absolutely done there. But we're the Chiefs. We don't just back down. We are technically one of the worst teams in the World Super League. But all that means is that we've got nothing to lose, yet everything to prove. Look at that for a delivery by Castro. Inch perfect. Zuma controls it well and slaps it home. Keeper gets a hand, but not enough. 1 goal was a shock, but 2? We're 2-1 up. We're having fun out there. It's like a friendly. Hang on a second. Surely not. It's free. Oh dear. Roma are having a mare. I wasn't expecting it. Lord Theo looks like it was all in his game plan. Malaleka's actually a bit of a beast, isn't he? Extremely reliable. To be honest, with the way we were playing, we should have scored more. We had a fair few chances, but it all ends Chiefs 3, Roma 1. Who would have thought it? Last game of the month against Kawasaki Frontale. Frontale? Frontale? It's bound to be one of the two, isn't it? Looking quite shaky in this game. Not entirely sure how we're not behind at this point. But we seem to work very well under pressure. Lovely little play from Malaleka. Should be burying it though. Woohoo! Frosler, cheeky work from the left back. Biliat picks it up, does really well, squares it off to Sigurdsson. Oh, and it falls too kindly for Castro. He's missed quite a few opportunities in the past, but he ain't missing that, is he? That marks his first goal, hopefully the first of many. It's not too long after half time that they decide to show the skill though. They're in bags of room, no one closes them down, and it ends up in the back of the net. Not 5 minutes later, and they produce this. Flipping heck. What a monstrous volley. What on earth were we meant to do against that? The answer is obviously to draw level, which is what Sigurdsson almost does. How has he not put that away? Biliat decides to whip out this outright nonsense. Amazingly, it actually works. There's a fine line between idiocy and being a mad genius, but he's pulled it off. After drawing at level, we even almost take the game. But it's a topsy-turvy match, and thanks to some absolutely abysmal defending by Mafoho, a runner gets through and there's only one place that ball is ending up. Unfortunately, when it comes to Kune's front post, he's about as useful as a white crayon. At the end of the day, it was a tough game, and the lads did play well, so you can't really take that away from them. We are only losing to a few defensive mistakes, really. Oh, well, butter my butt and call me a biscuit. Biliat's just tied it up. 2 goals after 90 minutes, what is going on? We'll take that point, thank you very much, Billiat. What an unusual game. How to make yourself completely invaluable to a squad, a guide by Billiat. We'll do a month per episode. At the end of each month we'll have a quick review of all the leagues involved in the World Super League. At the end of the first month, here's how League 2 stands. Panathinaikos are currently leading it. Oh dear, where are we? Ah, there we are, lamenting towards the bottom in 18th. Only won a single game this far. But at the bottom, Sporting Kansas City. League 1 up next. And Tigres are currently undefeated. Both Rangers and Celtic are in the top 10. Be interesting to see how long they can hold those positions for, or even get higher. However, it's the Belgian teams towards the bottom, with Club America at the very bottom. Here's the Championship, and Porto are running away with it. Played 6, won 6. To be fair, the top 6 teams, Porto, Monaco, PSV, River Plate, Leipzig and Real Betis, are all undefeated. It's going to be a bit of a tough tussle. Everton are yet to win a game, but all the way at the bottom, it's Galatasaray. Thought they'd do better. Let's have a gander at the big boys. Ooh, fancy graphics. No surprises there with Barcelona at the top, followed closely by Juventus. Arsenal and City are doing well. United are surprisingly in the top 10. Real Madrid aren't even in the top 10. Neither are Liverpool. Chelsea are all the way at the bottom. They've lost every single game. Alright, that's it for this month. Let's hope for some better results next month.